Eagle Talk fam? Look, it's your girl, Rosemary, and I am hosting all by myself today because my boo thing is off handling some business. But y'all, it is about to be a super lit, amazing episode because we actually, like, did y'all know that you were on our bucket list of podcast guests we just had to have on Eagle Talk?
No, but I'm honored.
Definitely honored, though.
Look, if you don't know this amazing dynamic duo next to me, this is Jeff and Marissa Allen, owners of The Cookie Society, which, if I have to give an award, the best cookies in the whole world. And they have such an amazing story. And I'm just so excited to have y'all here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Look, I have to tell you before we get started, and you're going to give your story, but my first bite of Cookie Society, I used to love this other cookie shop. That had these small cookies, and it was decent. And one of my friends said to me during the pandemic, remember, because y'all have a wonderful story, you have to try this cookie. And I was like, it's a cookie. It's a cookie. She's like, no, you really have to try it because she knows that I love banana pudding. And let me just tell you that it was love at first bite. I love y'all. Y'all are my cousins. And I love you. So thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you. And I'm so proud that that's the one that you love because that's the one that started the journey down the creative cookies. Mm-hmm. So you got it. You got the whole story in one bite.
Yay. Well, tell the listeners of Eagle Talk a little bit about yourselves, who you are, where you're from. Jeff, you want to start?
I guess I'll start. My name is Jeff Allen, the husband of Marissa Allen, the founder of Cookie Society. I grew up in Chicago. I'm born and raised east side of Chicago, south side geographically. 2 older sisters. Went to King High School, shout out to King. Went from there to University of Illinois where I met this beautiful young lady. From there, I got drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. Played there for 7 seasons. Also spent 2 seasons with the Houston Texans. Finished my career in Kansas City after 2021 in the Super Bowl.
Oh my, 2021 in the Super Bowl. 2020,
yeah. We went straight from that to opening our business and the pandemic happened.
Well, I am going through the timeline and you are right. So Marissa, he gave us your love story. Talk to me about your entrepreneurial journey. And I don't want to graze over the fact that like you're a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's not a big deal. I mean, this is way bigger.
It was a big part because they are my first taste testers. And so captured audience, he'd bring them into the locker room. So that was actually a really big part. I was a reluctant entrepreneur, I would call myself. I had 2 small kids. I think I started baking cookies when our son was like 6 months.
Yeah.
We were living in Houston at the time and I was just making hundreds of cookies to give to no one. Like I just loved developing cookie recipes. And so I'm sending them up to the locker room. We're sending them to our friends in different training camps and everything. Like I started packaging them. That's really how the online started.
Wow.
Because I was packaging these cookies to send them. I think you were in Asheville that year. Asheville for training.
No, I was in somewhere in West Virginia.
And I sent cookies to West Virginia because my husband liked my cookies and it's the least I could do. And it was his encouragement that I was like, no, like, these are really good. You should go for it. And one of his teammates offered to buy some for his family for a home game. And he's like, how much do I owe you? And never had I attached a price to what I was doing. It was my way of sharing love, of connection, that was kind of my love language.
Oh my goodness.
And that really got the wheels turning.
She made that sound so sweet. Actually, I mean, that's true. But it really started because she's competitive. She's really competitive, and she kind of glanced over that. We went to New York and we tasted another cookie company, and I kind of challenged her, but not in just a playful way, like you can't do anything like this, knowing she was going to go home and do it only for my benefit. I just wanted cookies. Yeah. It wasn't to start a business. And then she started going wild in the kitchen, making all these crazy flavors. I started telling her it was the best thing I ever had, and we started taking it to the locker room. We fast forward to what she talked about.
And, I kind of glossed over the competitive because I got it like that. I had it in like 3 takes and I was like, this is good, but I think I can do better.
Oh my goodness.
And that's really where it all started.
So that's the part of your story that I've seen on online, how you went to New York, an idea was sparked and you went for it. Yes. So let me just start off by saying, because I'm like you, a reluctant entrepreneur. I kind of found myself falling into this area, but then you didn't stop yourself, right? You're just like, okay, let me try it and I get it. First, let's just try it to feed my husband and, get that kudos from him. But what was the motivator to just keep, like, have you always been a baker? Have you always been a creative? Like, how has that been?
I've always been a food creative. So I had a blog. It was called First and Full. I'm actually rebranding. That's one of the fun projects we're working on right now. But I was always doing food content creation. So I worked with Head Country, Traeger Barbecue, different wine companies, and I would create recipes using their products and basically sell them the rights to the recipe.
Okay.
So this is before the influencing that you see today.
Right.
I mean, that's amazing. I'm like, man, I was a little early on it, but that's where the love of writing recipes and coming up with my own creative spin on things started.
Okay.
No one in my family makes cookies. We were a break and bake family, a slice and bake family. My grandmother makes amazing pies and cakes. And I did grow up in the kitchen, but not making cookies. So everyone was a little surprised
that you just
when we went cookies.
So what year was this New York trip that you went on?
That was in 2017.
In 2017. Okay, so 2017, and we were just talking, you have a few little children, a couple little children at home. So was it a newborn or were you pregnant during this time?
We had our daughter who was 2 or 1.5 going on 2, and our son wasn't born yet.
Okay.
And she was actually pregnant with our son, Jay.
Yeah. So you were pregnant. So what I hear is that you were giving birth to babies while you were birthing this other business baby.
Yes.
Yes. So fast forward. So 2017, you're off playing football. So were you all not, because you said you were sending them the cookies there.
Yeah, I was off in training camp. So we go to training camp. At the time I was in Houston. We went to West Virginia for 4 weeks. So I'm in West Virginia. She's back home in Houston. She was sending them to the locker room.
Okay, so what's the first cookie flavor she sent you and you were like, okay, this is different here?
The banana pudding.
Oh.
That was the one where I was like, at the time when I was searching, I never seen anything like it. I was like, okay, you onto something here. And that was the one where I was like, hey, everyone has to try this.
Okay. And when did you know you had something?
Ooh. I feel like, he just loves me and he's proud of me. So I don't know if this is actually that good. I think for me, it was actually that maple pecan cookie.
Yeah.
And my parents are fair critics. And when my dad said that this cookie is great, that kind of kept the encouragement. And there have been these little signs along the way. So we're like, okay, let's actually look into doing this. And we look up Cookie Society and the name wasn't taken.
Which I think the name is brilliant.
Yeah, because we wanted something inclusive, so society, but the domain was available and we really took it as a sign. There have been little things along the way that were like kind of a nudge to keep going, and we definitely count that as one of them.
Yeah.
No, I love it. So you are sending cookies. Your family is starting to say, okay, this is good. The website is up because you could have stayed. I know that you started off at like different food markets and pop-up shops and things like that. At what point did you all decide, okay, maybe we want to actually open up a brick and mortar?
What was that the first year you went back?
Yeah, I mean, that was just a leap that we wanted to take. At first we were going to go more the commercial route, no customer facing stores, just stay online. But I was like, we need to take the chance. Everybody needs this. Yeah. And we decided to open our store in Frisco.
So Jeff, are you the risk taker? Are you
I'm definitely the risk taker.
100%.
100%. That's me. I mean, it's just my background and the way I grew up. I'm just fearless. So.
Yeah. You remind me of Corey. I wish he was here because he definitely is the one that's like push and we'll figure out the parachute on the way.
Yeah.
So that's what I hear you.
Oh, for sure.
So before we even get into opening up the stores, how was that for you though, Marissa? Because you are the creative and he is like, okay, I really think we can do that. Naturally, you're not entrepreneurial. So was there any hesitancy or were you kind of all in once you got the product out there?
A little bit, but I was also really proud of the product that we started the business with. And I had faith in that. And I'm a very hard worker. So I'm not scared of hard work.
Yeah.
And I think that's those pieces like that we each kind of brought to the table kind of kept pushing us forward. And so Jeff actually played, he went to Houston and then went back to Kansas City, and we were working on the business that whole time. So I remember I bought this blue mixer in Kansas City so I could make cookies up there, and I'm testing recipes, and I would fly back with the kids on Monday, and then I'd go to the commercial kitchen and ship. And every single chance he got, if they played on a Thursday and they got like a Friday, Saturday off, he would fly home and he was doing like West Elm pop-ups with me. Wow. It was all hands on deck. And then we actually were in the like planning phase and talking with architects and stuff for that Frisco space.
Yeah.
And he was still playing.
Yeah.
So I'm FaceTiming him after work, trying to show him the plans and what we went over and everything. And it really was just 100% commitment on both parts.
Yeah.
To just make it happen.
You know, I think that's such a blessing. I'm just thinking of, you know, I have different friends who were in the league and they just really struggled with what transitioning would look like. And not to say that you didn't struggle, because you played football your entire life, I imagine, and now you're going into something different. But like, what was the driving force for you to have this transition plan after the league based on what you saw from other players?
Well, you spoke on that. The transition is the toughest part for any athlete, especially when you get to professional level. You've done it your whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, I retired at 30 and I played football since I was 8.
Yeah.
So my entire life, every summer was spent training for football. My entire life was about football. So my identity got tied to it. But I knew when I was done, I had to have something. You know, NFL stands for not for long. Initially, I was going to be a financial advisor. That was my plan.
Okay.
My whole intent was to support my wife the way she supported me, and help her live her dream and start a business and see where it goes. But it's been awesome to see it all take flight.
Okay, so let's talk about where it went or how it has been going. So you opened up the Frisco location in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes, in the middle. We didn't unlock that front door for customers for months.
Wow.
So we would push our little cart outside, and we had some really committed employees, and they would run up to your car, and we had like laminated copies, and we were like, don't touch, because no one knew what was really happening, how it spread and stuff. And, we were masked up, and they would go and we'd run back inside, put together your box and run it back out to you. And that was just the way of life. That's how we started. And we were only open for 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day?
Yeah, 11 to 4, 5 hours
11 to 4, yeah. And it's surreal looking back, but we just became part of people's routine, and we were one of the only reasons you could come out the house,
legit. And I came out the house.
Exactly. So they would come and they get their cookies and they go home, and it was their outing. And so many people just wanted to support us and continue to show up for us like we did them, and they're still our customers today.
No, I love it. So funny. I'm thinking of a funny story because one of the first times I had the cookie, I told you a friend of mine told me to go. So I go, and like literally where your store is, the exit for the entrance to the expressway is, what would we say, maybe 5 seconds away?
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes.
Okay. My cookie was gone by the time I got to the exit. So when I called her and I told her, I was like, oh, okay, I had the cookie. Because what I did, I got on the expressway, then I came off and came back around. And she was like, they're just so, my only thing is that they're so big. It takes me forever to eat it. I'm like, oh, didn't quite have that problem.
Can't relate.
I have literally kind of made myself ill trying to eat 2 on the way. But so 2020, you open up, pandemic, but you're working around it, you're being creative, and then something amazing happens at the end of that year.
Over's favorite things. Y'all, we thought we were getting pranked. I tell people this all the time because it was like a 2-line email, and it said, can you put me in touch with your PR? And it came in May or June?
Yep, it came in May.
It was like a month after we opened, and we were delusional with exhaustion. And the email came in the middle of the night, and I roll over and I just start laughing because I said, someone's trying to get us.
Right.
They're trying to get us. And so we said, oh, sure. So we made another email account, and it was still us. And we're like, yeah, sure, here's the email.
Right. Hello at Cookie Society.
No, really. And we carried on this conversation, and it was just such an experience. So up front, our door's not unlocked for customers.
Right.
Yet I'm talking to them in New York about sending 6 dozen cookies to these people that work in the Oprah magazine office.
Oh my goodness.
And it was, we sent, how many dozen?
We sent a lot.
Oh my goodness. Because we had to send one, they were sheltering in place. So we had to send one to everyone that worked on the floor. Yeah. So typically you would send cookies to the office.
And then they'll just try
they break them up, but we had to send to their houses.
All the way up until September.
Yes.
All
and we're overnighting
the
them.
Until they said send it to Oprah and Gail.
Wow. And then Oprah and Gail got them.
Yes.
They were the final, yes.
So what flavors did you send Oprah and Gail?
I tried to send her everything. They're like, keep it to one box. Because I did the first time, I think I sent like 18 cookies. And I remember that we did it was the Christmas flavors.
Yeah.
So we did our peppermint hot chocolate. We did our ginger snap cheesecake, banana pudding. What were the other two?
Sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie was one of the big ones.
Yeah.
She loved that.
Red velvet. We sent her that.
We sent red velvet,
Yeah.
red velvet, sugar, chocolate chip. Oh, I sent something with pecans. Maple pecan? Did I do that one?
So.
And I think I did maple.
Yeah,
it didn't make the cut, but like maple pecan. And the whole thing with Oprah's favorite things is she wants a luxury gift.
Yeah.
So she said, you need to find a crate.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're like, where do we find a crate? Like,
Right.
you can't just Google a crate. They wanted a custom fabricated crate. So we get a prototype made from this guy in Wisconsin, Kenosha, Wisconsin. And he sends it down, and that thing was like 15 pounds without the cookies in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so we're like, okay. So we sent it. She said, yeah, this isn't going to work. The shipping would be ridiculous.
Right.
And, we ran into a friend who was able to really help us over that hump. But it was quite the process. We learned so much in that experience there. I really think we experienced 2 years of business knowledge
in that
Yeah,
one
sure.
dealing
experience.
with that experience.
No, that's crazy. So you end up on Oprah's list, and Oprah has tasted your cookies. I know, like there, I would just be like, "Shut up, Oprah ate my cookies." Like,
for like a week, didn't feel that way.
Hey, did you feel like Oprah ate my cookies? You know that, right? So you did that. So what did it do for the business once you were actually announced on the favorite things? Like, how did that?
We were 800% up online.
800%.
Yeah, on average month, we would probably get online probably 130 orders. We're getting 400 orders an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
Y'all.
An hour.
We had to shut the site off. And so ring, ring, ring. I get a call from somebody in New York. And it's like, hey, Marissa. It's Adam Glassman. He's the coordinator of all this. He said, I noticed that the site's off. And I was like,
You think?
We just gotta catch up.
I'm hiring right now.
Yes. And that's the thing. It was so hard to hire because it's a pandemic.
Yes.
So nobody was looking for jobs at that time. And so
because everybody had those unemployment checks.
Everybody
so why would they come to work?
Was comfy at home. They didn't want to get sick. Completely understandable.
And we're doing everything out of 1,500
square feet. So we're in the hallway. We're up front. We're chasing FedEx drivers down the way. Like, no, I got like 100 more. Just don't leave. We're trying to stall. We are working all night. Like we're 4 a.m.
We're driving our own cars,
10
filling them
p.m.
up, using the FedEx trucks.
The FedEx truck, I'll never forget when this man pulled up with a U-Haul after the first week, like a U-Haul trailer. And
the first guy that showed up walked in and turned right back around.
Yes, he didn't pick up a thing.
He's like, I'm not doing this.
He's like, no, they don't pay me. He probably quit when he got his unemployment. Like, they're not
they really were the ones the unsung heroes of the Oprah's favorite thing list. And Cookie's like, couldn't have done it without him, for real. And I remember we shipped that last box out on like the 22nd. And I think I slept until New Year's.
I bet you did.
I think we did.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
So that, I just think I'm just mind blown. And I tell people, like, every time I taste a cookie, which is at least once a week, I feel like I'm tasting a piece of the entrepreneurial story. You know what I mean? Like, I love, obviously, we're African American supporting Black business, but I just love that y'all went for it. And what I feel every time I go there and I gift it to my clients is like they went for it. And I just feel like your efforts have been rewarded. But I know, because I'm an entrepreneur, that sometimes that reward is like, oh, we prayed for this. So what have been some of those moments where you're just kind of like, oh, what did we get ourselves into? Or have you had those moments?
It was the Oprah list.
Oprah's favorite things.
It was one of those things we put on our list as a goal. Like, I want to be one of Oprah's favorite things. And it all happened so fast. It was like, oh man, like, you really got to get ready for it. Like, you just sink or swim. So we had to figure out some things production wise. We're renting off-site refrigeration space. We're working around the clock. Things that we didn't intend to do that soon, we were forced to do.
Yeah. We had to figure out how to store thousands of, unbaked cookie dough.
Yeah.
Because we had to be ready. You can't just, show
right.
up and think you're going to do it, because that holiday season is so short. So they announced the Friday before Thanksgiving, the Friday after. It was in November. And then you had till December 22nd. So you got that short amount of time to really capture and do the most that you can. The first set of boxes, those crates that I told you about, they showed up and they were incorrectly fabricated. So we started getting emails from people who were our first people to order, and they said, my box collapsed. And they sent pictures, and oh my gosh, I was just crying in the back because the box was shattered. So all 6 sides of it were just in pieces. And then the cookies were broken.
It was crumbled.
Oh my goodness. And so they're like,
a bunch of refunds.
They're like, I actually really wanted the box. So we sent empty boxes to people. And I mean, it was like letting down your aunt. It was like letting down your cousin, your grandma, because they're like, I really want to support y'all. That's how the email always started. And it felt so personable because I'm sensitive about my art. Yes. I am. And, we, like you said, we put a lot of time and effort and creativity into putting the best that we can out there. And that just wasn't our best, and it was kind of out of our control.
It was a learning curve, right? You did the best you could with the resources you had at the time. But now you know, I don't even want to say you know better. Like you do know better, but things we're not just throwing it away like things happen, but that was like astronomical in a very short amount of time.
So once we fixed that, we were rolling. But I think that got us ready for the moments that we saw in the future. For example, egg prices. I know y'all go to the grocery store. That's something we've had to weather. We use a lot of eggs. And your price went up, our price went up. And so I think we got really good at rolling with the punches after that. But there's definitely those days that I'm like, I just need a minute. I just need a minute.
That's one thing that I will say that I think one of the best gifts about entrepreneurship, I mean, it doesn't feel like a gift in the moment, is that your problem solving skills. Like you definitely have to up your game, think on your toes, take a deep breath. And I think Marie Forleo says it, everything is figure outable, but sometimes we just need to take the time to stop and think and try to figure some things out. So, for sure. No, I love that. Okay, one quick question. Marriage and business, because now your relationship is evolving. So you high school sweethearts, husband and wife, supporting your man while he's doing an NFL thing. I'm saying it like it's small, it is not. Parents, and now in partnership together. And then Jeff, I even think about, now your wife is forward facing for the business. So how has that transition been for you and y'all?
For me, it was seamless. I mean, I played offensive line. Nobody knows us.
They do say that.
They only know me when I make a mistake. So like for me, I'm used to being in that role of not getting the credit, even though I know I'm a huge part of the success. But that's not what matters to me. What matters is the ultimate goal. And for us, that's continue to build and be the best versions of ourselves. So the biggest transition for me, though, was actually not working as much and being away from my family. So the roles were switched. She was like going into work. I was doing more admin stuff. I was at home with the kids, and it was a totally different experience for me. I'm like, I don't know if I can curse on here. But I'm like, shit, excuse my language. This is hard. I'm like, I got to give her some extra gifts and love because she did this for a little bit while I was living out my dream. But it's been awesome though so far to learn and get better with everything.
And I will say that his temperament and all of his skills really complement mine, which I think has made this a more palatable journey for us. And like you said, being that offensive lineman, and they got publicly criticized. It was part of the job, and he's really helped me kind of cope with that because that's not something I was used to, you know. But everybody's got an opinion, and they're entitled to it. And I just love the way that he has always rolled with it. And when you talk about everything is figure outable, I feel like he's already 10 steps ahead, which is great because I'm still wallowing in the moment, but he's already called the box manufacturer when I'm over here in the back
right, trying to figure it out.
And it's just, he's lifted me up, and I did my best to lift him up when he was playing. And so I think as long as we kind of keep that going, we're still going strong. We'll celebrate 10 years married next year.
Oh, I love it. Congratulations. 10 years. Listen, I'll talk to y'all off screen about 10 years. No, I love it. I could talk to y'all forever. We don't have the time, but I am thinking, it was funny because I had just gotten Cookie Society that day. And, social media make you feel like you know people. So we were at the little play thing. And I looked up and I saw Jeff, and I was like, I know him from somewhere. And then when I figured it out, I was like, oh, I love your wife. He was like, oh, she's over there. So I'm like, oh my God, and you're like, you're so gracious to me, but I know that I probably put it on thick.
No, but I'm
not a weirdo. I was like, they're gonna think I'm weird. They're gonna think I'm weird.
Yeah,
I'm passionate.
That happens so much though. Like I'm out and about and they're like, oh, you the cookie husband. Where your wife at? I'm like,
y'all,
my name's Jeff.
It still makes me crack up because I spent years taking pictures of Jeff with fans in the grocery store, everywhere. And really one came up and was like, you're Marissa's husband, right? And I just thought that was the funniest thing ever because I make cookies.
No, I love it. And I can see even just in our short time together that with all of this business explosion, you all have lived a lot of life in a short amount of time. But I feel your connection and your energy. And I just pray God's absolute best for your family.
Thank you.
So what's next for Cookie Society? Tell the people and tell me.
Got another location coming.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. And we'll be opening
in DFW.
In the DFW area in South Lake. And we're really getting the hang of this. And so Addison, Frisco, we'll still be here going strong. We have some more plans for our online offerings that we're very, very excited about. You can still find us in the Capital One Lounge. We're the official cookie of Capital One.
Working on other partnerships.
Working on some more partnerships. I can't talk about them yet, but some big ones. So super excited about that. And we're just continuing to show up for our community every day. I'm
so like, you all are showing up every month. I am so excited for the cookie drops. And I'm just really excited to be a part of it.
You're in the society.
I'm in the society. And that's what I feel. I feel like we are all in the society and you all have been just such I don't even think I sent my mama your cookies before she died. Aww. And she loved them. Aww. She froze them and kept them a little too long because that's just how she was. But just a sweet treat. Like it's a comfort food. But I just want you all to know that what you're doing, the way that you have just stepped out on faith, it is bigger. As big as it is, it's even bigger than you can imagine. I'm just going to encourage y'all to keep it up, y'all. Y'all amazing.
Thank you. I'm going to have to replay this episode when I'm ready to toss in the towel sometimes. Look, can't get the recipe to work.
Sometimes we're ready to toss in the towel, but I always think like whose blessing is contingent on my obedience.
Wow.
I always think about that, and and y'all are out here blessing a lot of people, including the Eagle Talk community. Oh, yay. Okay, last thing, let them know if they want to order cookies, what's the website, how do they order, and then they can go to the website and get all of the locations and everything.
Yeah, cookiesociety.com. We keep it easy. For nationwide shipping, there's a link. And then if you want to order DoorDash or Uber Eats to your house because you can't get out, we have that as well. And you can find all the locations, more about Jeff and I on there. And we really hope you give us a try. We got some fun stuff this month. We got honey butter biscuit, unheard of. We got stuffed French toast, strawberry Pop-Tart. We still got the banana pudding that she's talking about, so you can try that. So get your orders in.
Get your orders in, y'all. Well, this has been a treat, Eagles. Y'all see what I did there? A pun. It's been a treat. I'm so happy that y'all are here, and we will see you next time on Eagle Talk. Bye, y'all.